Hello everybody, and welcome to the MLH Prep graduation for October 2021. My name is Will and I'm one of the program managers here at the fellowship, and I'm super excited to welcome you all along for the first ever MLH Prep graduation. Now, some of you here are from the MLH Prep program, so you're already familiar, but some of you may be new and interested to learn a little bit more. So, what is MLH Prep? Glad you asked. So, MLH Prep is all about learning and getting some hands-on experience by building real-world projects. So students come together in groups of 10 to 15 and they work together as a pod to build different projects. Now the program is over 3 weeks, and over those 3 weeks they build both a portfolio as well as a project. We're going to have a look at some of the portfolios and projects that our fellows have built and really, celebrate their accomplishments over the last 3 weeks. Going into this program, a lot of our students had worked on projects themselves as well as, working on some of their own personal projects, but nothing on the scale of this, where they're working with 10 to 15 people. And, over the 3 weeks, they're now, experts at how open source works and ready to take on anything. So, let's take a look at what we, threw at the fellows to start with. So, let's have a look. So, excellent. I think this is all working beautifully. Let me know if it all works and if you can hear me. Fantastic. But basically, at the beginning of the program, we gave all our fellows a website portfolio template. The idea was that they had to take this and work as a team to really, show the pod's colors through this website. As you can see, the template, I'm not going to say my CSS is terrible, but if my CSS has been better. But if we have a look at this, you can see that there's not a lot going on. There we go. You can see you've got a few other MLHs on here, and you've also got some projects that we've worked on. If you highlight over those projects, you can click on them. And if we click on those projects, it just shows a web page with some Laura Ipsum. Everyone loves a good bit of Laura Ipsum. Now, we were pretty interested to see what fellows could actually do with this and how they could, take that and really make it their own. So we basically went to the pod leaders, design it however you like. We would love to see what your creativity can get to, and so we'll have a look at the different pods. So we've got 3 pods: 4.1.0, 4.1.2, and 4.1.3. We'll go through the 4.1.0 side to start with, and already you can see it is hugely different to what we were starting off with the template. You can see here that we've got the name of the pod, and this time it was about birds. One of the people who works at MLH is big into birds, so if you ever bump into them, you should definitely have a chat. But we've got the parrots, the pervasive parrots. Pretty interesting. And as you can see here, we've got a little bit of description about the pod. Love to see that. It shows a little bit of the pod character, as well as, meet the pod. So you can see who's actually in the pod, and some of these very, very, very passionate fellows who have come and, showed what they are made of. We've got some stats as well, specifically for the portfolio side. So this is pretty cool because this is a chance, to see how many pull requests people made, because this was some people's first ever pull request, which is awesome stuff. Some people who've never even really worked with GitHub, like they've used it to, get a personal project online to show to their friends. But using branches, issues, pull requests, all of that is a bit of a mystery. So being able to really, celebrate those stats is really, really good to see here. And then we also have a PR here. So what Grace did, who the pod leader for 4.1.0, is she split people into small little teams, and they worked in teams to contribute to the repository. So they built on those pull requests together and learn as a team. And you can see people here did different varying levels of pull requests, but still at least 7 pull requests between these teams, which is particularly impressive. And looking a little bit down, we've got some cool projects. Now it looks like this portfolio site might be a little bit outdated. We could potentially have a little bit more info here, such as the project that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. So we could have a little bit of that, but good little stuff, to-do list. And if we click on this, it does actually send us to the project page. And I don't think I've seen this bit. This is new to me. And as you can see here, this is a little bit different to what I did on the template. This is basically just a roasting session where we can just roast my really, really basic template. However, if I made the template too good, there'd be nothing for you to do. Yes, think of it like that. But you can see like here was the original, and look at this. We've got this really nice dark theme going on. We've got some images. We've also got the stats here for this project specifically. So this is the calendar site that we use for the fellowship. So pretty good to see that as well. And someone in chat saying about how the accent color is looking pretty good. And I must say, I do like the colors of this site. It is very nice. And there's also a cursor. Ooh, I went back. This is what happens when I'm not looking at where I'm clicking. But yeah, this is a very good portfolio site. And I've missed the best bit till last. Right at the bottom, not only do we have blogs where you can learn a bit more about the pod, or pretend that X is a 0. I didn't see anything. And then we have a locator where you can actually see where all of the fellows are located globally. By default, I gave everyone like default locations. I mean, you can see it on here. You know, I'm in London. We've got Amanda, Aaron, and Swift based. Well, Aaron's based in London, but at the moment he's actually over in the US. But Amanda and Swift are based in New York City. And so it's kind of nice to see how global the program is. Now, if I go back here, we can see that Grace is based out in the US. We've got Hugo based out in Chile, which is pretty cool. Didn't know. I don't know many people in Chile, so pretty cool. We've got a load of people over here in APAC, as well as someone over here in, I can't. Ooh. Looks like a bit of the CSS is having a bit of a moment, but regardless, having a map on here is very, very cool. And then one last thing they've done here is they've added a really nice little footer, you know, site map, help you work out where to go. Because with a site with this much stuff, it can be a little bit overwhelming to know where you want to go and how the best way to do that. So do appreciate it. Oh, Amy, thank you for saying my template is great. I do greatly appreciate it. So, very, very cool. Big fan. Oh, and the best bit is, I didn't tell you the best bit. It has a dark theme. Yeah. Oh yeah. We do love a good dark theme round here, and this is nonetheless. So yes, you can dark theme. Now, I can't remember which portfolio it was, but one of them does it based on your system theme. So I'm using macOS, and I have it set so that when it gets to... Actually, should we just double check? My macOS is set so that dark mode will go on at, I believe, sunset. Regardless, that's pretty helpful. I find that dark theme's a bit too dark in the day. I quite like it a little bit brighter in the day, in the day, darker at night. Makes sense. I do like the fact that you can set all your phones and stuff to auto change, which is very, very nice. Some of them is like based on time. Yeah, but right now, at least in the UK, the sun's going down at like 6 o'clock, and no one wants that. So I do appreciate that extra little touch that uses that web API to just learn what theme you're running. So that is the Pod 4.1.0 portfolio, and you can access all of these right now. They're all live on Netlify. You can find it at preppod 4.10.netlify.app. You can see it at the top. If I hang on, off to the right. Yeah, off to the right. It's my left, but you know what I mean. Excellent. And people saying in the chat, click on the fellow card. Oh, apparently. Oh, hello. Am I on here? That's the real question. Is I put myself on here because, you know, apparently I need as much ego as possible, and just to put myself on all the portfolio sites. But it looks like they removed me because I'm not a true member of the pod. I understand. But let's go to let's go and have a look. See, let's have a look at Grace, for example. We can see her GitHub, her LinkedIn, her Twitter, and her resume. So if people are looking to hire people, especially people who've got real world experience, you can have a look out on the portfolio sites. Very cool indeed. Because this is the thing, right? When you're trying to make a portfolio, you want to make the information as easy and accessible as possible. If you make it hard to find, people aren't going to look for it. And they've done a fantastic job here of making it as simple as possible to find, which you'd love to see. Excellent. So, let's have a look at 4.1.1's pod. So this is Arslan's pod, and again, very different to the first pod that we saw. If I just go back to that first one, right? Oh, sorry, the template. You can see it's very, very different, but I'm loving what they've done with it. Now we go back to it here, you can see, first of all, we've got some fancy CSS going on here. We've got everyone's face, and it's twins. Now, one of the issues we have with this now, this portfolio site is not, what's the word I'm looking for? Dynamic is not the word, it's not responsive. So if I was to right click here and click inspect, and then if I was to set it to be a mobile site, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a little problem here. Yeah. And if we make it even narrower, if we make it responsive, there we go. This is very easy to read on my mobile phone. So that was another challenge I set, fellows, was make it work on mobile, because at the moment, I mean, it doesn't really work with 4 people, let alone 15. So, you know, this pod over here has come up with a very inventive idea of using a little carousel so that you don't have to, you know, do this huge grid using something like CSS Grid. Instead, you've got this nice little animation, and it's pretty incredible what you can do with CSS these days. So, pretty cool stuff. So, interesting. I like it. You can't click on their faces, but that's okay. But then everyone else is down below underneath. So you can actually see everyone on here. And again, you can see their LinkedIn, Twitter, GitHub, and their personal website. It looks like some people have a personal website. Some people put their Instagram on there, you know. And some people even have all of those. There's 4 on this one. Oh, and Facebook. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So, you know, you can go connect with the fellows, have a chat with them, and, you know, learn, build, and share. Fantastic. Getting the carousel responsive was a real challenge. Oh, I am sure it was. I do not doubt that for 1 second. I've done a little bit of like the carousel stuff in CSS and HTML, and it works sometimes. I find Safari really doesn't like carousels, and I don't really know why. Like, Safari just doesn't work. It's like, nope, not gonna do it. Cool, so let's have a little look. We've got projects and we've got another map here. So again, we can click on these, we can see, okay, so this is, now one thing they have done is they fixed the logo. So I actually used the fellowship logo. For those of you who don't know, the prep program is powered by the fellowship, but it is a separate program that is used to help people get the skills needed for either the fellowship or an internship. And I made the mistake here of forgetting to swap the logo. Happens to the best of us. And, you know, they swapped it here, and I think they've actually changed a bit of the styling. If we have a quick look, let's not look at the bad scaling, the responsiveness. Let's not look at that. But yeah, you can see they've made it so that the headers are a little thicker. Do like to see that, you know, just makes it a little bit more accessible, a little bit more readable. Excellent. Amy, I've got to be the one here to plug the Learn, Build, Share. And for those of you who don't know, one of our values is learn, build, and share. And this is a fantastic example of that. And then obviously I see in the top right hand corner, do you see that? Do you see what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a dark theme. Should we do it? Everyone in chat, let me know if I should turn on the dark theme for this repository. I'm pretty sure it's on the homepage as well. Should I turn on dark theme? I mean, it is only 5 o'clock in the UK, so a bit early, but maybe we should. Maybe we should. Anywho, after we get past all the fellows, again, there are quite a lot of them, and it's awesome to see so many people working together. We have a map of all of the fellows, and as you can see, we have a good variety of fellows. We've got some over here, one all the way in Vancouver. Ooh, where's this? Someone in India, but I think either they're on a small little island or something's gone wrong. I'm not sure they're supposed to be in the middle of the ocean, but maybe you write code in the middle of the ocean. You know, you're an underwater developer. You know, you've got web developers, you've got DevOps developers, data engineers. You might have an underwater engineer. Who knows? Someone asked me to click the names. Oh, the names. Oh, so sorry. Going back, this is clicking on the names for 4.1.0. Let's have a look to see what this is. Oh, wow, it gives you a whole timeline of that person. Damn, it creates the resume for you. Why build a resume when your website can do it for you? Ooh, I like. Okay, then that is one thing that maybe should be a little clearer, because I just completely missed that. But wow. Ooh, and it's got some pretty cool CSS here as well. Very, very nice. Very nice. Anyway, hopping back to 4.1.1. You can see the map again, and I like this border they've got on it. It really makes it feel, you know, cozy. Really what's the word I'm looking for? It's got character to it. I know. Ooh, someone in chat suggesting that this fellow's on a boat, writing code, a boat developer. You know, maybe I'm one of those. Who knows? Who knows? Excellent stuff. And we've got fellows all over the APAC region, which is awesome to see. And again, at the bottom, we have another footer with all of the, you know, easily to find bits for the pod. And this pod is called the Arch Equals. Very nice. Any Arch Linux developers or Arch Linux users out there is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean. Excellent. And because people asked, let's have a look at that dark theme. Ooh, I do like the accent. This is very clean. Damn. What else do everyone thinks of the dark theme? Someone said he didn't share. What have I forgotten? So people in chat are like complaining that I've missed something. He didn't share what? Please let me know what I missed. Oh no. Oh, I see. That fellow did not share where they were. So we just put them in the ocean. Oh, and someone's in Antarctica. Very nice. I mean, hey, if you missed a deadline, that's what happens. You end up going for a little swim. You know? Excellent. Excellent. We've got someone who's joining the Mlh Prep program in November. Very exciting. But this is a little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come. But I think we've had a good look at what 4.1.1. I think it's time to jump into 4.1.2, check out their portfolio, and then before we wrap things up, we'll have a look at the projects. So, we've got Yashika's pod here, and as you can see, again, a whole different approach to this. I really like this, you know, the amount of color and, you know, just everything just feels vibrant and exciting. I do love to see it. And you can see we've got everyone's details here. If I click on someone's name, oh, it gives them a portfolio. Do you like dogs? I don't know what kind of dog that is, but it's quite a funny photo. But yeah, got a little portfolio, how many commits they've made. Interesting. I wonder if that's pulled dynamically from the repository using an API, or if that's just hard-coded. It'd be pretty cool if it's, using an API. But yeah, we got the pod name, the Mocking Sparrows. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And we also have, where they're located, as well as, where that will, the site map at the bottom here. Teamwork makes the dream work. Very nice. Let's have a look back at the website. It's pulled dynamically. People in chat are saying, ooh, I do like the sound of that. We've got lots of people here. We've got someone who didn't upload a photo. That's actually Amanda from our missions team. Ooh, and we have a bigger map. Ooh, I like it. And I like these rounded corners. I'm a big fan of the whole border radius set to about 20, 25 pixels. Looks good. Let's have a look at this. So we've got fellows all over APAC. We've got some in Africa. We've got some in the US. We've got people all over the place. So it's so cool to see, and before the prep program, a lot of these people would have never ever, collaborated with people outside of their country, let alone outside of their city. So to have this sort of collaboration is, mind-blowing. And then, we've got the projects here as well. So we can actually see the projects that these students have worked on. Now, again, these are all just templates. I'm sure there's a little bit of Laura Ipson in there. Yeah, good old Laura Ipson. But we've got some cool logo stuff going on here. Oh, and I think I see a dark theme. Do you see the dark theme? Let's have a look. Ooh, I broke it. Let me try the dark theme on this bit. Ooh. Hey, look at the dark theme. Very nice. Apparently, if I click on the markers, it does something. Ooh, I've gone into the ocean. That's where I belong. Let's have a look here. Ooh, look at this little pop-up. And I do love that blur. That blur is clean. That is very nice. And it shows you what languages they write. So you've got C++ and JavaScript. Yeah, I'm not a C++ developer in any shape or form. Python and JavaScript over here. Java, C++, Python. Very cool. And right at the bottom here, we have a few stats. Again, really celebrating the accomplishments over the week they used to build this portfolio. So we can see here who's been making the most commits, how many pull requests are open, and how many are merged. 21 merged, damn. And 19 issues closed. That is very, very cool. And you can see here how big the repo is. Most of that will be the images. And, we've got some other stuff here too, where we can click on this, and this will show us some more about that info. And we've got some opportunities. So people who are looking, for their next steps after prep, we've got the fellowship, got some internships on here, and some other university programs that companies run to help people get those skills they need to be successful. But yeah, this is very, very cool. I must say I am a big fan. Let's just hop back. Excellent. Well, that was pretty cool to see all of those portfolio sites. Let's just have a quick recap of all of those before jumping into the projects. fantastic work, everybody. We're super impressed with what you did in just 1 week. And some of you didn't even have that much experience, but wow, I expected, maybe a little map on there, bit of CSS, but wow, you've really outdone yourselves. So, that begs the question, what did the fellows do for the other 2 weeks? Now, we were like, they're gonna need some stuff to work on. If they've done this in 1 week, they're gonna need something, a little bit bigger, a little bit more, in depth. And so that's where we built this very, very simple project. In fact, we can have a look at it right now. This is what we started with. This is a very simple React app that is hosted on Netlify. Now, this React app is not a lot of code, I promise you. In fact, you can find it on GitHub and the MLH Fellowship organization if that's something that you're interested in looking into. And all it does is it uses the Open Weather API to just pull the current weather for a location typed in. So right now I've typed in Tokyo and it's using a little bit of React magic where it will update as I type. So if I type in London, it will sort of update in real time without needing to refresh the page or press any buttons. Just kind of a cool thing because some of these fellows haven't ever touched React, and it's just a cool way to sort of see why React is very cool and why lots of people like using it. And as you can see here, apparently in London it's clouds right now and it's about 13 degrees. Let me have a look. There are definitely clouds outside, so I would say that's pretty accurate. I would say that is pretty accurate. So it doesn't do a lot, and a few things I suggested to the fellows was maybe we could have it where it pulls your location automatically. Like it says, hey, do you want to access your location? And then as a result, it can then just tell you directly when you go on the page. Maybe it could have a map where you could see different locations and you could click on it, etc, etc. And also, it only tells me clouds. That is pretty useless, I'm not gonna lie. Like, great, I can tell there's clouds outside and the temperature as well. Maybe you could tell me whether I need to bring an umbrella with me when I'm going outside to the shops, or maybe if I want to go for a run today, when's the best time to do that? And so once fellows had got the hang of the React app and built this very simple, minimal viable product, ready to go, we suggested, why don't you build something which is a bit more powerful, a bit more useful? And so I suggested personally, but I very much meant pods, you decide what you want to do. But these are some suggestions on the kind of scope we're looking at here. And so one of them was making a trip planner. So let's say I want to go to the beach at the weekend. Is that a good idea? Or is it going to be chucking it down with rain? And if it is chucking it down with rain, should I go another day? Should I go Saturday or Sunday? And which beach should I go to? Is it going to be sunny on the south coast or should I go to the east coast? Just a few examples. And the other suggestion I had was, I like to go cycling a lot, and sometimes it's a bit too windy to go cycling, or it's a bit wet, and I don't really want to go cycling in the rain. So what if, the app could basically tell me the best time of day to go for my cycle or run, and it could put it in my calendar and, move it around. And so they were a few suggestions, and, some fellows very much took those ideas, took bits of those, and then ran off with their own sort of creativity, which was really, really cool to see. So let's have a look to see what all the pods worked on over the last 3 weeks. Excellent. Okay, and one of the people in the chat has told me that I should look at... instead of using the... So one of the pods one's broken. But apparently that this fixes it. Excellent. I love it. So, to start things off, we have 4.1.0, and this one here, as you can already see, is hugely different. Like, you're already getting so much more information. It's telling me the high, it's gonna be 14 to 12. There are clouds, it's currently 13 degrees. Telling me in the next hour, it's gonna just get colder. Thank you, UK, for being a cold country. We've also got the humidity, the pressure, the sunrise, and the wind. So very, very cool to see. And we've got a map here, and this is what I think is very cool. So I'm based just north of London here near Cambridge. Now let me type in Manchester. If I type in Manchester, it's gonna actually, I broke it. Manchester. There we go. It comes down with a drop down to actually suggest to me which Manchester I want, because don't know about you all, but Cambridge is a great example. Cambridge has a place in the UK. There's also Cambridge in Massachusetts in the US, and there's a Cambridge, I believe, in Canada. So when I type the word Cambridge in, we can actually do Cambridge. That's a great example. Yeah, do I want, the one in Canada, apparently there's one in New Zealand as well. So how is the API supposed to know? And so here I can click on this and, I had a bit of a moment. Let's have a look. But there you go. At the top here, we've got some data for Cambridge. Let's try London again. There we go. You can see it's now telling me London in the UK. It's telling me the weather is a little bit different to what it is here. The wind is, it's all right. It's going to be very windy later in the week. But I can learn that. If we go down, it tells me what I need to bring: sunglasses, umbrella, and a cap. And here we can see the weekly forecast. So I said it's going to be windier later in the week. Looks like Wednesday and Thursday are going to be mega windy up here near Cambridge. But it might be moving to Friday. And as you can see, I can actually see all this information straight on here without actually having to go anywhere. Very, very cool indeed. In Canada, we have both Cambridge and London. There, told you. See, like, fun fact, actually, I think a bit of a history is that a lot of places in America are named after them in the UK. So, like, you have New York. We have a York, there's New York. There's New London, etc., etc. And so names, yeah, it's like people, right? I'm Will, but there are other Wills, and so you can't really use that as the only thing to find out what you mean. You can also bookmark a location. Ooh, how do I bookmark a location? Please tell me how I do that. Oh, hang on. There we go. Hey, look at that. Right at the bottom here, I can now see the wind for London. And if I actually go back up, we can type in Cambridge. Ooh. Cambridge, England. Don't know why it's saying Canada, but we'll just ignore that small detail. There we go. Cambridge GB, I hacked it. And now I can add that to my bookmark. Boom. And now I have both of them. Fantastic. See, this is just really useful now. I don't have to keep, going and typing all these things. I can actually see all of the info I need right here. Fantastic. And then they also have the option to change from Fahrenheit to centigrade, which is very, very cool. And a trip planner. Now, this trip planner really, really impressed me. So let's say I want to go from London to New York City. And if I press submit, it might crash. Let me try again. London, New York City. Ooh. I don't think it likes me very much. But basically this, I got it so that earlier it could tell me what restaurants it recommended in the different locations, hotels, and just amusement. I think that's very, very cool, because sometimes when I'm going to a place, I might be going to New York next year. I have no idea what to do in New York, and this can help me plan my trip. And it will also tell me the weather using the Open Weather API. Very, very cool. Let's go back to the main website. Apparently there is you need to choose from a drop down. I see. I'll try that in a second, but I want to try this voice assistant, which might break everything, but it's worth a shot. Okay, London. London. I have no idea what it's doing. But the fact that there's a voice assistant is very cool, very cool. Let's try this. Apparently I'm being silly. Let me put Manchester in. Apparently it only works when you use a drop down, which is why it crashed. Again, Fellows only worked on this for 2 weeks, so it's pretty impressive. Oh, here we go. So we got New York and Manchester. It tells us the weather. New York, clearly a lot warmer. Tell us what to bring, and then nearby places, so we can see easily inside of here exactly what we should be bringing. Restaurants and hotels nearby. Very, very cool. Hi. I see the issue here. It is using a microphone that, doesn't really work. Let's try and fix that. Let me refresh the page. We'll try the assistant again. Yikes. Let's try one last time. Alright, let's have one last go. Hi. Ooh. Hang on, let me... Oh, I need to add it so you can hear. Okay.
Hi.
Who? Hi, Alan.
Hello. To get info about a city weather, say the city name. To go to the trip planner page, say trip planner. To toggle unit, say change units.
Change units.
Changing the temperature units.
Ooh, very fancy. Well, damn, that is very, very cool. Very cool. There you go. So that is Alan for you. Let me just make sure that Google Chrome doesn't make any more noise. But that is the 4.1.0 portfolio. Let's have a look at 4.1.1. Now we've got a working one, not quite merged in, but still really impressive in just 2 weeks. So we've got the Mlh Prep 4.1.1 portfolio here, and as you can see, we've got loads of stuff here. We can see all of the weather coming up over the next few hours. So right now it is 5 o'clock in the UK, but we can see over the next few hours what the weather's going to be like, which is very, very cool. Apparently it's going to rain all night. Lovely. We do love a good bit of rain here. Apparently it's going to be quite warm though. Feels like, wait, seriously, it feels like 20 degrees. I'm not sure about that one. But, oh, sorry, New York. My bad. I was like, UK, 20 degrees, unheard of. But this is really, really cool. You can see down here, bring your sun cream, because New York is apparently quite sunny. And if you're anything like me, you burn by being outside for about 5 minutes. So very useful tip for me. And we can actually have a look here. Oh, wow, this map looks awesome. So if I click on the map, I can actually change the location. So now it's telling me for New York still, obviously, because I've barely moved. The weather obviously is going to be exactly the same. We're just round the corner. Let's try London. So here we can see that I've selected London. Ooh. Here we go, England, UK. If I click visualize. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is it going to do something? I don't know. But yeah, that is very, very cool. Oh. And you can see this is a deploy preview through Netlify, so it'd be awesome to see if we can get this one merged in right at the end here. Very, very cool. And I do like the fact that you can scroll across and it has different images depending on what the weather's like, if it's clouds. Really visual, really easy for me just to quickly see what to expect. Fantastic. Oh, the rain's in New York. Yes. Whew. Had a panic for a second there. Anywho, let's just close all of these. Excellent. And to finish off with, we have the Mlh Prep portfolio with 4.1.2. So what we have here is, again, a very cool weather app. Again, it defaults to New York City. Very cool. Quite warm in New York. Let me change the location. So let's have a look. I'm going to type in London. City of London, that would do. Proceed. And you can see here, apparently it's 24 in London. Doubt. But over here, that looks a bit more reasonable. 16 to 11 degrees. Air quality, it's all right. Sunset. Damn, is the sun already setting? Man. Damn. It might be, that might be in GMT. But that's still very, very cool to see. And we can see the weather, but we can also see the news. So, looks like there has been a slight error here, but I'm sure the pod have nearly got this merged in before wrapping things up. You can see top 10. So actually here we can check out the top 10 places for people. So if I click on New York, or if I search for places, let's give the search a go. 4.1.2 is more about backend. Actually, that is a really good point. So 4.1.2 was took a different approach. So they didn't just take a React app. They decided to split it out into a front end and a back end, and have the back end do all the processing, do all of this data crunching, and then yeet it over an API over at the React app. So that was really interesting, and I'm not sure how much of that back end is actually hosted, as we only helped host the React apps. But we are intrigued to look into the future to see if we can host some Python apps in VMs in the cloud. Try the visualize weather again. Yes. How do I do the visualize? Oh, yes, you want me to do it in it opened it in the wrong window. What? This one. Visualize. Ooh. Let me try Manchester. Let's try London. Doesn't like me. It is unhappy with me. Ooh. Backend has been hosted. I'd love to know what the backend's hosted on. We'll come back to that. But this is very cool because one thing I really liked about 1.4.2 was because they have a backend which can do all of the processing. You can actually have a look at the. You can actually create webhooks, so you can actually have it so that it will ping you in Discord what the weather's like and stuff like that to go, hey, remember you need a what's it called? You need a what's the word I'm looking for? You need to bring along a umbrella. That's the one. Excellent. And we also have a login with Google, so you can log in. Bit of OAuth 2 there. Love to see it. You missed the chatbot for 4.1.0. I actually went through it at the end. I had a chat with it. I asked it to change the temperature, the units. Interesting. And you have to log in to use notifications. Makes sense. I'm not going to log in during the stream just because that's a little bit more complex, but you should totally go give these all a go. They're all hosted right now on Netlify. You can see the domain name right at the top, just over there, and you just need to change the pod number. And all the repos are completely open source. So if you want to go have a look and maybe, fork one of these and keep building, then totally go and do that. That is everything so far for these projects. And I must say, I am blown away. These projects are incredible. Think that in just a matter of weeks, and the best bit as well is if I just go to let's go back to the project. This is what we started with. Just to think, it's nothing, and it doesn't actually scale properly. It's not responsive at all. Look, if I make the web page narrower, what happens here? It doesn't work at all. Oh dear. But that was very, very cool to see. I'm incredibly proud of everybody, and hopefully over the last 3 weeks, you have really learned how to work in a team, how to collaborate, and maybe you've made some new friends along the way. It's super exciting to see, welcome you all to the alumni of the fellowship and the prep program, because the work you've done over the last few weeks has really shown what you're made of, and hopefully that will really echo, over the next few years. Let's take a quick recap of what we've just had a look at in a quick highlight reel. Awesome stuff. I must say I am incredibly impressed with everything you've all done, and I know some of the work wasn't quite finished or there was a few bugs here and there, but that's all part of the learning process. Integrating your code into someone else's code is no easy feat, especially if it's the first time you've ever done it. So you should all be incredibly impressed with what you've achieved over the last few weeks. Now, I know a few of you were saying how some of the commits weren't merged in for 4.1.1. That's okay. If you want, now even though the program's ended, you can still spend some time to, get those final few things merged in. And if you want any feedback and stuff, you should work as a team and get feedback from each other, because you can learn. You can learn from providing the feedback, and you can learn from giving it. So, or providing and receiving. So it's a beneficial thing for everyone involved. Now, this does mean we are right near the end of the graduation, which is definitely sad to, let everyone go into the wild and, start your careers. But before we end, I'd love to just quickly have a quick recap. Well, first of all, we've got two things. We have our class photo. I know, drum roll for that. as well as a little like thank you from me. Let's have a look at the class photo. You know what would be really useful? If I remember to actually put the class photo in the inside. It's definitely a bit problematic if you forget to add it, but we will see that in just 1 second. Let's have a look at the class photo of the Prep October batch. Now Will's got to remember where the class photo is. Aha. I promise you I am not making things up. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Let's have a look. Awesome. Well, we'll be posting that later so you can share that memory for the next little bit. But again, I want to just reiterate how proud we are of you. So here's a little, fun little video I made of all of you in your stand-ups. Well, thank you everybody. I really do appreciate you all coming. My name is Will and I'm one of the program managers here at the MLH Fellowship. I hope to see you all hopefully in the future in another program. But for now, stay tuned and follow us on social media. You can find us everywhere at MLHacks. But yes, for the time being, that is all from me. I will see you all hopefully pretty damn soon. Alright, bye everyone.